Guys, welcome back to Lady P Fitness, Wellness, Nutrition, all the stuff you could ever think of regarding weight loss, weight maintenance, and things of that nature. So today we're going to be talking about eating within a calorie deficit, and we're also going to be talking about intermittent fasting. Should you do it? Should you not do it? Is this something that you think will actually help your journey, or will it hinder it? So the pros and cons. So if you guys don't know, intermittent fasting is basically, and this is basically straight off the dome, straight out of the head. Like, please look up the real definition. But to my knowledge, intermittent fasting is basically like refraining from food for a certain set of time. So a certain period of time without eating. You can drink water, if I'm not mistaken, unless you're doing dry fasting. And just that whole period of not eating, and then you have a window of eating. So like the most common and the most popular intermittent fasting method is 16-8. So 16 hours of just pure fasting and 8 hours to eat whatever you want, to eat as much as you want, and to eat how you want. Most people usually start eating around 12 p.m. up until 8 p.m. so that they can have that time. Like, in the morning, they'll keep themselves busy. They're probably doing whatever they're probably doing whatever they have to do to keep themselves busy and stuff like that. And then once it hits 12, that's when they actually start eating. Now, how do I feel about it? Okay, so I was an intermittent fasting queen from the ages of 17 to about, I want to say 20. Yeah. From 17 to a little bit into my 21 year, but after that, I'm like, yeah, this is not, for me personally, I didn't want to stick to it. And due to many different reasons. If you're somebody who struggled with your weight and you're trying to find any means of weight maintenance and stuff like that, I believe that intermittent fasting can be the thing for you, but I really wouldn't want anybody to kind of like be addicted to it, because once you get out of that state, because it takes discipline to get yourself into a routine of fasting. It takes a lot of discipline. And if you're out of that, it's very easy for you to gain a lot of weight. Like, all of the weight that you've lost is kind of like out the window. And it's just like, because of that was the reason why I was able to, lose the weight. Now, am I knocking it? Absolutely not. I think it's very effective. I think it works well if you do it appropriately. And also if you make it a lifestyle. If you make it a lifestyle, it's very hard for you to fall off or whatever the case may be. You have to literally, I'm sorry guys, I'm all over the place, but forgive me, bear with me. Second video here, still kind of nervous, but you have to literally set in your mind that this is what I'm going to do for the rest of my life. And that's with every that's with every diet, that's with every plan that you have, that's with all of your blueprints that you use for losing weight. If I can't see myself doing it for the rest of my life, I probably shouldn't be doing it, or it's probably not even healthy. And also, for my ladies, ask yourself this: if I cannot do this while I am pregnant, is this healthy for me? Because obviously you don't want to do it for your child, but why would you just do that on your own as well? Because you have to protect yourself as well. So I think that the best method to go for, if you really want to go into the intermittent fasting, is a 16-8. There are different ones called the warrior diets of 20 hour, 4 hours. So you just fast for 20 hours and you eat for 4 hours. I used to do that, but I'm like, yo, this is so restrictive. Imagine going out with your friends, you can't eat. You can't eat. Going out with your friends, you can't eat. Or you're just restrictive. Family functions, you cannot eat. That's why I recommend the 16-hour, 8-hour window. Nobody's going to force you to eat in the morning. Like let's say the first 12 hours of the day, you keep yourselves busy saying hey, you know what, I ate around 12 is a good time, and no one's gonna tell you after 8 p.m. why are you not eating? You get what I mean? So it's I feel 12 to 8 is perfect. If you're out and about in the morning, and yes, it can get a little tempting when everybody's eating breakfast, but you just let them know hey, I eat around 12, and then you can even introduce them to the topic, because sometimes it gets a little awkward, especially if you're from either ethnic background, I said ethnic background, whatever. Caribbean background, African background, Hispanic whatever background you have that requires like diverse foreign foods, you know, like you're gonna have to like do some explaining. You can't just be like, oh, I'm on a diet, or I can't do this, or it's gonna kind of like isolate you from everyone. And you want to kind of, you know, you want to mingle, you want to kind of like, you know, play it off. So like, let's say breakfast time comes. Let's just say that you wake up around 12 p.m. You know what I mean? If you don't want to explain yourself to people, then especially like your older, like your grandmothers and your aunties and all that, the older people that have sat down and made you food and stuff like that, you know, the breakfast people. Just act like if you're traveling and you're with a group of people that's going to ask you, because I have to say it for my fellows, my fellow sisters that are literally like in the same predicament as me, where it's like, you can't say, oh, I'm not eating. Because it's going to be like, oh, why are you starving yourself? And that's another thing. Sometimes we can use it as a means to weight loss, but like some of us can't really like eat all the time and then like lose weight. Now, for me personally, I've gotten to a place where I can eat as much as I want and still maintain a certain level of weight because my body knows when I'm eating and my body knows when to get rid of. Because when I was younger, I used to have a really, really, really slow metabolism, and like meaning that drinking water would make me bloat. You know what I mean? So know your body, know what works for you. And yeah, so going back to the topic of intermittent fasting, is it worth it? Honestly, like I said, if you're doing the 16-8 method, it's worth it because you want to make it a lifestyle and you want to get yourself into a discipline. Because I don't want to say like, oh, once you get off of it, you're going to gain weight and that's the reason why you shouldn't go on it. Because that's every diet. If you don't exercise, if that's every method or blueprint. If you don't exercise, if you don't work out, you're not going to lose the weight anyway. You're going to gain the weight back. So that's with everything. Everything, if you get off of a routine, you're going to relapse, of course. But so that's what I'm saying. That's not an excuse as to why. I'm just saying that happens to be one of those things that fall under that category. But that's not an excuse. I think, like I said, if you stick to the 16-8 method, it's not going to really raise that many questions. You're able to actually you have a lot of flexibility too, like 12 to 8, that's 8 whole hours. So eating whatever you want. Now, I would recommend, you know, eating in moderation. Like after a while, after you do it, you're going to realize that you're not going to use all 8 hours. And you're going to realize that your appetite is going to be curved like crazy. But I would say give yourself that window. So like, let's say if I ate something at 12, right? And I don't feel like eating again up until like 6, I can have that flexibility because I have 2 more hours. I'm not saying eat every minute. Like hour 1, hour 2, hour 3, they're gonna be looking at you like, why is she eating so much? Like, you know what I mean? You don't want that. So you just have the flexibility to eat whenever, you know, you want within that time frame, I guess. So yes, that's why I said 8 hours is enough to give yourself that time, because you want to give your body, and I love intermittent fasting because it gives you like it curbs all of the bloating. Like all of the bloating is gone. You have like a more, like your face is a lot slimmer because when your body's in a fasted state, your insulin levels are very low. It's not spiked. You know what I'm saying? When you're on vacation, you do all this like that. And that's why I love it, because when you're on vacation, you can still do intermittent fasting. When you're not at home, at least with intermittent fasting, you know that, like, let's say if you're going to the gym and you're doing intermittent fasting, you're going to lose weight. But at least with just intermittent fasting, you know that you're at least going to maintain your weight. You're not going to gain on vacation. So I think overall it's a good method to go by. Don't do anything, don't fast for any less than 16 hours because you want it to be effective. 16 hours is a lot. 16 hours is only 4 hours away from 20 hours, which is very effective. It's kind of like, I think they classify the 20-hour fasting and the 4-hour eating window as like OMAD. I used to do OMAD too. That I would not recommend. I got so skinny. I looked very sick. It was so restrictive. I feel like OMAD is okay if like you're in a season whereby you're isolated. That's the only time that it's okay. Okay? So that's all I really gotta say. I'm sorry, guys. I'm trying to make this as personal as I possibly can. That's why I'm like pausing. I'm not talking so that you guys still can be like a real conversation. You feel me? Like, so thank you so much for tuning into this video. Just let me know what else you want to see, guys, because like I want to, like right now, this is based off of my knowledge. I want to hear what you guys want to hear so that I can give you content on that, like, you know, so it could be like personal. Like, this is something that you guys asked me. I will do a Q&A and stuff like that, but thank you so much. I love y'all for tuning into my video. Like, who am I that y'all tuning into my video? Like, thank you so much. But so don't forget to share, like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. I love you.